What's up, witches? Hello to my two that are here. How you doing tonight? Thank you so much for being here to hang out with me. First things first, let me know what the audio balance is like. My microphone levels have been weird lately, and it's hard to tell what's controlling what. It's like I have it set for shooting videos and doing my live streams, and the levels come out great when I do editing, but then I do a Zoom call. I don't change any levels anywhere, and the audio is like super hot. So I don't know, if I turn it up on YouTube, does that change the Zoom level? Is everything, I don't know. But at any rate, my mic levels have somehow really dropped, and I don't want to turn it way up and fuck with the gain and all that. So just let me know how it sounds between voice and waves. And please check in and say hi if you're here with me. Let's connect, shall we? Letting my charcoal catch hold. It's been an interesting day today. It's been an interesting retro so far. And once again, hi Becca, hey, okay. Yeah, see, I need to, let me adjust on the microphone first of all, but I need to just take my level up. Some level somewhere has gotten, hi Stephanie, some level somewhere has gotten adjusted, because okay, check, I have to yell for it to go up into the yellow. And that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know why. If I check my system volume, it's up all the way, but that's speaker's weight. Haha, hold up. Yes, in my system sounds, somehow my microphone is down. All right, check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's get the mic level up. Does that make a difference? I will take the waves down, and we'll see how we go. Is that comfortable? I don't want to have to yell. Is that comfortable? Welcome, whoever just came in. Thank you for the like. Hit that like button for me. Thank you, please, and thank you. So tonight, I was saying, it's been a very interesting retro so far, and true to form, the shadow period was worse so far, so far. I'm starting to think that either YouTube or Streamlabs or Spectrum were doing some sort of update, because you remember last week, everything kept resetting itself. It would reset from the YouTube end, it would reset from my OBS end, and it was all really weird. Well, suddenly Mercury turned, and my upload speeds are faster than they've ever been, and so I'm thinking maybe Spectrum did an update or something. Hi, Marcy. Welcome, my dear. Aha. Yes, Voyager. Voyager came in at the last minute. I had actually selected a different deck that was feeling not quite right. And then all of a sudden it was like Voyager popped into my head. And I think, look at the backs of these cards. They kind of make a nice pair, don't they? They match nicely. Hi, Samantha, my love. I was hoping you'd be here tonight. I will say to you, Samantha, if you're still up when we're done here and you need to talk, give me a call. All right, let's try again. I don't understand what's going on here. My mic is turned up, like my mic volume is all the way up. My system volume is all the way up. I'm going to turn the gain up and see what happens there. No, wrong thing. Sorry. Gain. All right, I'm turning my gain up. All right, how's that? See, that's better. It should be spiking into the yellow when I get a little bit louder. That should be better. All right, we'll give it the 30 seconds to go by. I've got like a 30-second buffer here. So yes, hello, everyone. I'm so glad it's Wednesday, and I'm glad you're here. I've got the windows closed and my air conditioner on, but I still may have to get up and do my puffer at some point if I start coughing. Yes, I turned up my gain, and I shouldn't have to. Very strange. Hi, Baby Joe. Hi, everybody. Yay. Yes, light, laughter, and love all the way around. Um, Calmness, centeredness, all of that. That's where we need to be tonight. Hello, Sheila from Streetsboro. Oh, hi. Okay, Sheila, like, I can't. Anyway, I'm not going to strain my brain that hard. But thank you for being here. Yay. Hooray for all of you. All right, so we've got Voyager Tarot, and on this side, we've got the Lantern Oracle. I think these two together are going to be quite something. And last week, what did I use last week? It was something that was more of a fortune telly deck, and it takes me in the direction of, what's going to happen this week. And I much prefer staying in the realm of the internal. And because that's our PowerPoint, right? We have a say over what's going on inside of us. We have a say over what's going on outside of us in terms of how we respond to it, but what's going on inside of us is where we really can effectively work. So that's my preference. So let me take my beautiful crystals off of these decks. I will introduce you to these crystals sometime. I bought them in at V-Rock, which is, oh my God, such a fabulous shop in Canton, which is about a half an hour away from us. And this shop used to be, you had to have a wholesale license to get, seller's license, vendor's license. That's the word I'm looking for, to get into the back room, which is like Wonderland. And you could look in the shop, but you had to know somebody to get in the back room. Now anybody can get in the back room, but if you have a vendor's license, you pay wholesale prices. And this place, like I said, Wonderland. You go down aisle by aisle, and there are shelves, and they've got everything alphabetized. So you'll have here's all the eggs made of every different stone you can imagine, and what those crystals do. And then you've got wands, and you've got pyramids, and you've got spheres, and you've got raw, and you've got clusters and wands, and I mean, it's just amazing. And I bought just a bag of quartz points. I think it was $40, and I think there was 29 or maybe even 39 in that bag. And we've got like some pretty killer crystals with special qualities, which I can't remember what they are right now, so I won't talk about them anymore. Okay. All right, let's see here. A giant bowl of ramen. Yay. V-Rock, yep, they do. They hold, yeah, I've watched it. Believe me, I've watched it go by with, drool dripping off my chin bone. All right, let's get going. Let's get going here. So, let's get centered. Let me offer you a smoke cleanse. And yes, I'm going to use my lighter. Come on, light. Ooh, I want to do another smoke cleanse for you. Hold on. But here's your smoke cleanse with sage, BRB. Showing you my Peace, Love, Rock and Roll t-shirt. And let's give you a little bit of a cleanse with some Palo Santo. My dear friend Darcy gave me some Palo Santo, and I've been reading about it, but I'd never smelled it. It has this beautiful, like lemony. It's almost sweet, but there's like a lemony, a little bit of cedary, definitely fragrant, definitely unique. It is its own smell. So there's your Palo Santo smoke cleanse. And now, let's invite in ancestors, allies, guides, and guardians. Come on in. Come on in and join us. I know you've been with me all day. I've had some pretty awesome things happen today, just in terms of connection with spirit. So I thank you for being here. And I ask your assistance in bringing through messages for my viewers that are clear, accurate, practical, and insightful. I thank you so much for being here with me each and every day. Thank you so much. And I honor you and these decks with fresh water and with the fire of Azrael. I have to order supplies because I'm getting low. To the Voyager deck, it's been my friend for decades. And to the Lantern Oracle, that has been my friend for a few short months. This was a gift deck from viewer Annette Klein. So, and let's start off with the dice. Okay. Touch the decks, touch the dice. Bless you with water and earth. All right, what vibes are we under this week that we need to know about? Let the planet, the sign, and the house come forward. All right. I knew Mercury was coming out. I knew it was. Okay, so Mercury is taking center stage here and reminding us that our minds do not check out on a Mercury retrograde. They just go internal. Our mental faculties are just much more tuned to the subtle, the esoteric, the subconscious, the symbolic, the right brain. The right brain is where I want to go. We move away from left brain, linear, logical, instructional kind of things, step by step, clear, raw, factual information, to subtler, like I said, much more subtle information. Subtle, bringing messages forth from your unconscious. Mercury goes to work at giving words to things that are difficult to put words to. All right? And it's in Libra here, which talks about speech that brings beauty, beautiful speech, diplomatic speech, loving speech, social. The idea of the social is Libra. Mercury sits in Venus's sign there. So Venus ruling Mercury talks about being kind to your mind. Okay, here's your little catchphrase. Be kind to your mind when it's, doing its Mercury retrograde thing, when it doesn't want to do what it normally does. Be kind to yourself and maybe look beyond the surface and the factual and the logical to see what message is coming through from elsewhere, messages from elsewhere. And that elsewhere is the 12th house, which is your unconscious mind, your subconscious, your unconscious. This is time to pay attention to your dreams, to journal about those dreams, the feelings, the vibes that you got in those dreams. And even engage. I mean, this is a setup for poetry right here. Mercury in Libra is making words that are beautiful, that rhyme, that convey something beyond just raw information. They convey feelings, convey the things of Venus, okay? And then the 12th house is inspired by spirit, bubbling up from the subconscious, carrying messages from the other side. All right? So that's where we're at this week. And what a great message to start readings with, huh? All right. Let me catch up with messages. We have a village in Misiones Province called Minas of Wanda. Or the mines? Is it the mines or Minas? They're the best stones I have ever seen. Like the heaven of stones. Oh, yes. Geodes. The rock has many geodes, quartz. Wow. Awesome. All right. Now, let's tune into our Geminis as things come a-flying out, and what comes out first but the Hierophant. All right, Gemini. Hierophant talks about regimens. It talks about structure, rules to follow. These want me to cut them. All right. Trusting tricksters is what this says. So, okay, the whole village was popular right around the stone mines. Oh, isn't that wonderful? See, I would love to go see a population like that, a community that is working on things like that. Okay, so for Geminis, Hierophant says get some structure around what you're doing. It can also talk about having to change up what you're doing. So overall, it's time to look at the structure and ask, do I have one? And that's number one question. Number two, does it serve me the way I need it to? So looking in the short term, just in the structure of a week, let's look at what do you have to accomplish in this next week and what structure have you set up so that you can accomplish it easily and well. So looking at structure, and this one says trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Okay, so let's put these two together. Okay, so possibly looking at this is the way you need to do it. And look at that, my OBS just reset. All right, so that problem isn't done yet. Crap. We'll see how it goes. Oy. All right, so this is saying that there's something like that you're trusting, something or someone that you're trusting that has set up a structure that possibly does not work for you. This someone, this trickster that has where there's misplaced trust, this could be like family of origin going way back, telling you, giving you a message. Remember that Mercury retrograde is time to review things, and it's saying what needs to be reviewed here is just the way you go about things and your habits. So habits can be instilled by family of origin. They can be instilled by having to cope with somebody else's bad habits. And what it's saying is this week, Gemini, it's time for you to question where some of your structure and habits come from and ask, are these healthy? Because it's saying that there was trust placed where it wasn't warranted, and either you were manipulated into doing something a certain way, or you just kind of absorbed the way to do it, and now it's time to question it because it's not, where it came from is not a trustworthy location. It was false information for you. Okay? Yes, does my structure serve me? Right, but with when I look at these two together, I'm thinking that there's a structure that just needs to be looked at and questioned. Does it serve me? Do my habits serve me? Habits are like belief systems in that they are unconscious. The definition of a habit is something that I don't even think about. I just do it. I habitually. You know, it's kind of like when I get in the car, I do this first, then this, then this. You know, when I get up in the morning, I go to the bathroom, the first thing I grab is, and then I grab, we don't think about it. We just do it because we're used to it. Sometimes it can be actual muscle memory. This is just how I do things, and my body remembers it that way. So the way to look at structure and habits that need questioning is we bring them into our awareness. So it's time to watch yourself. Watch yourself go through your routines. Watch yourself go through your habits. And then say, does this serve me? And, you know, I'm also getting a vibe of, for someone out there, that there was something said, like way back when you were young and vulnerable and you know, what do I want to say? Primed for, you know, things hitting and sinking in. and somebody in an offhanded way said, well, you know what you ought to do, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, you're really like blah, blah, blah. And it might have been an offhand comment. It might have even been half joking, but you internalized it. And so it's time to look at all those things. So this can go, you know, even more deeply into your sense of identity, Gemini, if that's where you're at. Okay. I think there's your message, Gemini, and I am going to go get my puffer because my throat is itching like that. I hope I didn't show you my butt. I probably did, but oh well, you know, we're all friends here, right? Okay. Next, Cancer. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon. That one's levitating. Or Cancer Rising. And for Cancer, we have anger. Ooh, baby. And you know what I didn't do here? Let me take a look at something. All right, we're still in Pisces. In fact, yep, Moon went into Pisces yesterday. We're still in Pisces today. So good vibes for doing readings. And now they're saying cut. I'm going to do this kind of cut where I watch where it splits. Okay. We have anger and we have repair for you, Cancer. Wow. So something this week, your Mercury retrograde week this week, is about looking at what needs to be fixed, a situation that is causing you anger. And anger, of course, is an indication. Are you still burning? No. Anger is an indication that a boundary has been crossed, that something has been breached, that someone is coming into your territory beyond your choice. All right? So the anger, and this is Four of Cups here in this deck. So you can think, you know, if you want to think about what Four of Cups looks like in regular tarot, I'm just going to stick with this one. So there's pointy stuff that you need to deal with this week, Cancer. Look at where you've got a simmering anger, and the sense I'm getting is just this simmering anger going on. And we're kind of hoping that the other person will guess what's happening and figure it out, but we need to do some repair work. This says making amends. I got to hold it up because it's very small writing. Making amends, rather than fun times, reveals a relationship's true constitution. And look at these two people working on a quilt, repairing. So possibly this is a place where anger has caused a rupture, where there's a situation that something happened, somebody flared up, and it caused a rift or a tear or a break. And so it's time this week to start looking at that and thinking, how can I be the one that steps up and gets a conversation going? How can I be the one that says, can we talk about this, please? Whether you were the one with the anger or someone else was, it talks about something that needs to be repaired. And, you know, making amends means that, you know, perhaps it was you, but there's no, you know, no judgment either way. I think it could be one way or the other for you. So just looking at where we can mend fences, you know. Mending fences means strengthening boundaries. And, you know, it's sometimes all it takes is just some conversation. With Mercury retrograde, particularly in Pisces right now, you know, if this was happening while you're in Pisces, that just makes it a little bit easier to talk about your emotions, to express your emotions. At any rate, Cancer, it could go two ways in a couple of ways. One of them is that there's anger that has been expressed and something needs to be mended from that, or there's anger that needs to be expressed. Either it has been or it needs to be. And then we look at how do we move on from here. But the expressing of the anger could actually expose a place where we need to firm up our boundaries. We need to level up our relationship. We need to bring our skills to this and make the relationship stronger. It's about making the relationship stronger, either through better boundaries or just communicating, getting through this, this period, this speed bump. And when you do that, when you find out with someone, or when you already know and you just practice it, of going to someone and working through something difficult, it does feel stronger and trust increases as well. All right. Cancerians. I will put my little thing here so I don't forget where we're at, as long as I don't forget to turn the dice. Okay. All right, we're just going to cut. Let's see here. This is for our Leos right here. We have Woman of Cups, Rejoicer. That's beautiful. All right, Leo. Yep, here we go. Rejoicer and circles. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. Wow, okay. So look at this first of all. I mean, I hope you can see. Let me zoom you in just a little. Well, I'll hold them up because I like you to see the set too. Look at this. Look at how refreshing that looks. Woman of Cups is Rejoicer. She lets her feelings flow. She rejoices in all of her feelings. She rejoices in the flow of emotional energy, regardless of what that energy is. Regardless of the emotion, the flow of emotional energy through brings rejoicing because I feel alive. I'm living life. I'm engaged with life. Having feelings means you're engaged with life and you're healthy. So you can rejoice in that. But let's look at this one. Clarity begins in the eye of the storm. So this talks about really centering in yourself this week, Leo. Stepping back from the whirlwind of what's going on around you. Ooh, my hands just started buzzing. Reiki kicked on. Whatever's going on around you, whatever situation, particularly if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like something's out of control, it's time to pull into your center and actually use that image of like a hurricane and being at the eye of the storm. So you step out of the maelstrom and you come into the center. Things calm down, connect with yourself, connect with your emotional energy, and find out what it's informing you of, all right? If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's like, wow, my life is really active and I rejoice in that. So we pull back into the center, we calm down, connect with emotional energy, and whatever's there, look at it with the view of, here's why I rejoice in this. Okay? That's a reframe. Even if you've got something super shitty going on and it's making you, frantic and angry and upset, here's why I rejoice in this. And that puts you in the power position of learning something. Because I'm learning how strong I am. Because I'm learning what needs to be changed. because my life is a fabulous, fun place, you know? Okay, so, um, oh, hi, Rose. Hi, honey. Welcome. Yay, baby. All right. So, yeah, Leo, it's time to really frame your entire life in here's why I rejoice in this. Here's why I am happy to be alive today. All right. But to do that, you need to pull back from the maelstrom. If you've got like people around you and there's a circle of gossip going on, or just, oh, okay, I'm getting lots of opinions, quackity, quackity, quack, lots of opinions, lots of opinions, lots of talking and opinions. So pulling back from that into your own emotional energy, here's my truth in this situation. And here is why I rejoice in that truth. Here is how it empowers me, is what we're looking at for you this week, Leo. And that, I have to stop and think, okay, what did I just say? Because that's me. That's for me too. So, all right. And I mean, it's very easy for me to think in terms of rejoicing today because of just magical, magical things. And I will tell you a story. Here's a story. Okay, we're on Virgo. Kind of shuffle a little bit. This morning, I was talking with my mother, who is in spirit, and it's coming up on 2 years since she transitioned. And at this point, I am feeling very much in touch with my real mother. I want to use that term. My mother without the overlay of trauma and personality. The spirit of my mother, who did the best she could with her trauma and personality. And I'm really feeling the connection with her. And I was asking her for some help with a couple of things. And when I'm doing my white Tara practice, we got 2. All right. Okay. This is weird. Anyway, I'm doing my white Tara and I feel her and I'm just sending out this, beautiful, loving, compassionate energy to her and saying, I know you're watching over us and I appreciate the help that you're bringing to me and everything. And then I had to go someplace and it was to do something on her behalf. And I got in the car and I plugged in my iPod and it's like, what do I want to listen to? I couldn't decide. So I thought, all right, we throw it open. I throw it open to Lloyd, who is my guide in the East, my communicator, and Jessica in the West, who's, the guardian of water for me. And I said, and my mom too. It's like, take over, you guys. Please give me the song that I need to hear right now. And the song that came on was one called The Happy Organ by Dave Baby Cortez. This was my jam when I was 1. Certainly less than 2. It was the #1 hit. It was like the first Billboard #1 instrumental hit. And it was the first one that ever used like a rock and roll song that used the organ as a main instrument. And it was my fucking jam. In fact, my mom, where we lived, and I remember this record player, it had a little brown felt turntable. And she said I was just tall enough to go over, and she let me do this. So this is the spirit of my mom. Go over, pick up the needle, and put it back on the thing. And I was 2, because it came out in 1959, and I don't know what part of the year 1959, and that song came on. And there is not another song that she could have queued up that hit me the way that did, because she didn't pick one of her favorite songs, her country songs. She picked my favorite. My first favorite, and I sobbed my ass off. Okay. And here is Virgos. So what's weird about this is when I was asking the decks if they wanted to play tonight. This deck gave me both of these cards. They came out as a pair, which they just did again. And I remember looking at them and going, ooh, you know, because I like to look at nice positive things, but they resonated with me. And they resonated with me as this is what we need to talk about tonight. So here they come. So we've got Woman of Worlds. The last one we had was Woman of Cups. This is Woman of Worlds, and her name is Preserver. Then we have Weeping Wound and Strength of Vulnerability. This one says you are not your wounds. This one says the power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. So boy, are those a pair that go together or what? All right, Virgo. Woman of Worlds, Preserver. You are the one that takes material resources and makes them last and makes more of them. This is the Queen of Pentacles. And for me, the Empress is the abundance principle. The Empress says there is plenty for everyone, that the universe is an abundant place and there is enough, especially on this planet, there is enough for everyone. And being in that mindset rather than the zero-sum mentality. The Queen of Pentacles, on the other hand, is practical. It's a skill. It says, I understand the abundance principle and I have this, I have the green thumb. I can take whatever you get me, whatever you give me. See, you can tell Mercury really is retro because I can't find words tonight. I'll take whatever you give me and make something more out of it. Okay? And the Preserver says, I not only make more out of it, but I make things last. I have this is a great skill for not wasting, for making use of resources. Now, looking at what's being preserved, and here we're talking about wounds and the false perception of vulnerability as weakness. And let me say right here, if you've never read any books by Brene Brown, you really need to. Start with Daring Greatly. She's a very easy read. But boy, if you've got shame shit to work through, she's your girl. She is your girl. She's all about her research into vulnerability and shame and the dance that we do as humans, and she has helped me tremendously. So start with Daring Greatly. But this is saying that I'm looking at Preserver here next to this, and there's a little element here of wounds that are cherished, Virgo, of kind of coddling your woundedness and seeing that as this is what makes me special. That's what this one is saying. It's called Weeping Wound, and it says you are not your wounds. And while our wounds and our trauma can really become part of our identity in terms of, I had to learn a lot about this in order to heal myself, and now I'm an activist. That's one thing. That is a positive thing, and that is good use of your karmic lessons. Let's be frank about it. But this is talking about where we kind of coddle them and we don't want to heal them because the fear underlying is, if I lose this, who will I be? So the call here is to trust so that you can let go of the woundedness and then pause. This is the leap of faith, you guys. That pause before you really recognize the real you that was behind that trauma. So I am here to tell you that you can heal your wounds and not lose who you are. You will gain who you really are. So Virgo, it's time this week to look at how am I kind of coddling my wounds? And how can I be willing to let go of that false self? Woundedness and trauma create a false self. How can I find the courage to let go of that false self? And once we heal our wounds, our trauma causes us to put on armor. We want to feel invulnerable because we've been traumatized. It makes so much sense. You're not wrong in doing it. You're a human being. But what we need to do is stop coddling the wounds so that we can heal them, let the true self emerge. And when that's there, it is so unshakable and so always present for us that we can then let ourselves be vulnerable. We can let down defenses. We can take off armor. And we can be vulnerable, which is what allows us to really feel life, to get the juice out of life. We need to be vulnerable, all right? And a lot of times we coddle those wounds and hang on to them because in order to heal them, we have to feel the shame that's wrapped around them. And I am here to tell you, my friends, that there's nothing worse. Nothing feels worse than shame. Shame says there's something fundamentally wrong with me as a person. Who I am is wrong. All right? Different than guilt, which says what I did is wrong. Okay? So big stuff this week, Virgo, but it's time to, the message here is that you can do it. You can do it. So the Mercury retro is about diving deep into your own woundedness and trauma and understanding the process of working through and having the reassurance that there's plenty of you left. Plenty of you left once your trauma and wounds get healed. The real you is left. More of you will be there. Okay. Now let's go to Libra. I can't believe I've only been talking for 25 minutes. Other stories from this week, again, doing White Tara and sending love to, well, I'll tell you guys this. This is my big, big, big happy. And I'm trying to think if I've talked about this before. I don't know. When I was 18, I had a son that I gave up for adoption. And we have been in touch with each other for 22 years. We found each other 22 years ago. And we've been Facebook friends on 10 years and kind of, communicating through posts and things this year. But this year we met. A couple of weeks ago, we met for the first time. I think it was actually 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks? 3 weeks? I don't know. But we finally met. And it's been an amazing and joyous thing. And the healing is quite something. Hi, Natalie. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. All right. Let's move on to Libra. This one wants to come off the top. So anyway, I was saying I was doing my White Tara, and I was sending, because he's in the middle of a whirlwind. He's got all this stuff that's going on and new family to meet, and, it's just full on. So White Tara, and I was sending, White Tara is compassion and healing and good fortune and wealth and longevity and all of those things. She's like the Kuan Yin energy. And so I was sending just, some peace into the eye of his storm. And as I sent it, I felt it and felt it go out of my heart. And this little hawk came straight at my window. And right when it got, it was in the center of the window. And when it got very close, it just veered and went straight up. I could see its tawny belly. It made me jump because it was coming right at me. And I'm like, and I felt like it came in and scooped up that energy and took it off. So there's been lots of music. Yes, music, magic going on. So, yeah. And it's continuing. We're moving forward, and, families will be getting together, and it's going to be just amazing. Okay, here's our split for Libra. So I'm also here to tell you life is long, and anything can happen if you have faith, if you are open to your own healing journey, if you're willing to do whatever it takes and feel whatever is in there that needs to be healed. Okay, onward for Libra. All right. Courage, 7 of Wands, and Spirit Self. Be who you are as you are. All right, Libra, this is a challenge for you. This is a challenge for you because Libra, again, with the sun in its fall in the sign of Libra, so this is for Libra suns. The sun being in its fall just says it's difficult for you to really express yourself, who you are, because your first consideration is always, how is that with you? How do you feel about that? So expressing, be who you are, as your spirit self, and the acknowledgement that that's going to take some courage this week. So it looks like this week, Libra, there's an opportunity to stand up for yourself and who you really are. And it might separate you from a group. It might differentiate you from someone else. But that doesn't necessarily mean disaster, you know? And you're also kind of afraid of just stepping up and being who you are because you don't want to upset anybody. Because you don't want people to get their feathers ruffled because you want to keep the peace. So Libra Moon would be, you know, really expressing emotions in this way, in a courageous way. Libra Rising would be personality, outward personality-wise, that it's okay to be a little bit more forceful, a little bit stronger in how you present yourself, Libra, because that is part of your makeup as well, right? All right. Let's see if we've got anything else here. I mean, it's a pretty simple message, especially because it's for Libra. If it was for anybody else, I'd probably go on, but for Libra, it's pretty succinct. That you're not going to destroy things if you just stand up and be who you are. If you tap in to those other parts of yourself that are a little more fiery, that are a little more assertive, even aggressive, which is just like an unheard of word for Libras. They're like, aggressive? Oh, hell no. All right, let's go with assertive. Maybe that feels violent enough for you. But Libra, this week, let yourself shine. And here's the key. Pardon me. Don't edit. Don't edit. All right? When you're in that place of, I'm being asked my opinion, or you just feel it welling up in you. I got something to say. You feel it welling up. Don't edit. I have something to say, and say it. Don't edit. Here's a great phrase. This is a phrase that, to me, describes what being a witch is all about. Uncompromised, unapologetic. And again, uncompromised is like unheard of for Libra. They are the kings and queens of compromise. So uncompromised, though, means you yourself are not compromised. And unapologetic means you don't stand up and say, you know, I'm really sorry about this, but, you know, I'm really kind of feeling that. No, stand up and say, this is how I feel. And see what that feels like to you. It gets easier with practice. All righty. Scorpio. Where are you on my little dice? There you are. All right. Who else is with us here? Stop in and say hello. Come on, no lurking. And if you're going to lurk, at least hit that like button. I've been very interested to see how fast, after I hit the 1,000 subscribers, you know, I'm kind of barreling towards 1,100 now. And I love watching the counter change. I feel like suddenly, you know, I'm somebody. All right, Scorpio. Ooh, there we go. I knew somebody wanted to fly out. Ooh. Synthesis is the card here. If you're not familiar with the Voyager deck, this is one of the decks that I consider a must-have for anybody that collects, because it was like the first of the photographic collage decks, and possibly the best, the mightiest of the photographic collage decks. All right, Scorpio. Ooh, that's where we want to go. Okay, so we have synthesis, and we've got the word alchemical in here as well. What a perfect pair that is. This is creative power. Look at the images here. This is such a beautiful deck. Synthesis is a Virgo talent. Synthesis and analysis are like two sides of the same coin. Analysis is I'm going to take it apart to see how it was put together. Synthesis is I'm going to put diverse things together to see the new thing that they make. Something else I can make out of it. So for you this week, Scorpio, it's time to apply the principle of synthesis. It's time to look at how things that seemingly do not work together can work together. And so drawing on your Plutonian powers of transformation, look at the two things that you're just struggling. What makes that collage deck so mighty? It's called the Voyager. Let me finish this thought and then I'll come back to that, Rose. Time to look at things that are at odds with each other, that are seemingly clashing, seemingly opposites, seemingly conflicted, in conflict with each other, and say, how can these work together? How can these work together? Now, synthesis requires kind of letting go of control a little bit, because you're dealing with things that don't logically look like they go together. And you have to let your mind expand and work through to find, here's the way they can, and let your unconscious mind present that to you. Remember our Mercury in the 12th house with our overall thing. It's pulling information from the subconscious, dreaming it into being. And this is the creative power. It says release your alchemical energy into the world. So when you look at what you can synthesize in your life right now, what opposites you can make work together, you are bringing that alchemical energy. I mean, what is alchemy? It's synthesis. It's about taking something and transforming it into something entirely else. And who's the master of that? You are, Scorpio. You are my Plutonian people. So, and you know, the creative power of Scorpio is copious because it is creative and destructive. Scorpio has the whole gamut: generation, degeneration, regeneration. We create things, we can break them down into their components, like analysis, and then we can transform and create something new, regenerate the parts. That's what synthesis is. How can I regenerate all these parts and bits into something that is useful for me? And something that, you know, makes my life better, releasing that alchemical energy into the world. So Scorpio, yeah, great time this week for really, and it is practical too, practical problem solving. It could be adopting an attitude that just says, I will no longer regard this as a conflict. I will no longer view it in this light of these things can never work together. And then see what happens. All right. Now, Rose, this is the Voyager deck. This is, I've got, you know, I think probably one of the original printings. This is 1991. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Oh, no, 8th printing, 1991. Holy shit. 1984. Is when it was released. 1991 was the 8th printing, so you can see how many people bought this deck when it came out. I think now you have to buy it through the author's site, which is, okay, how refreshing is this, you guys? There we go. Ken Knutson by James Wanless, PhD. Here, let me give you this. And let me give you something even better. Hold on. I'm going to give you a link. Let's make it as easy as we can for you. Oh, you can get it on Amazon, and it's less than 20 bucks. Oh my God. So the one I have now is selling for over 100, but let's go here and grab a link and go back here, and there it goes. All right. God, that's a huge fucking link. All right. So the Voyager, what makes it so mighty, 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 mighty. I mean, first of all, there's keywords on the cards, and you can go, I have unboxed this deck so you can look at the review. There are keywords, but the images are so wonderful. You know, there are many, many elements, but then as a whole, they have very distinct energies about them. You see? And what's really cool is when you look at the book, the look at these. The text mentions every single piece of that image, every single image that's part of that collage. And there are cards where they talk about a particular image, and I have never yet found it on the card. It is so well hidden in there, collaged in. Okay. So yeah, it's a must-have. Did I? Hold up. Oh, it's not going to let me drop that link because it is a fucking huge link. All right, hold on. La la la. No, let's go here then. I'll tell you what. That's probably too long too. Here. This is the easiest. Let's send you to James Wanless Oracle. This is the author. And you can purchase it through him, or you can purchase it through Amazon, and there's huge fucking link. All right. My mind connects with Carl Sagan and his teachings. Yep. All right. Sagittarius. Love. I'm glad I finally learned how to zoom in with my OBS. And I don't do it on this because, like I said, I like the whole set. But these images, you know, to see them close up is really something. All right, it's trying to split here. All right. Ooh, love and intention, Sagittarius. 3 of Cups is love. And this says, lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life as a pawn to someone else's game of chess. All right. So a lack of intention makes you a pawn in someone else's game of chess. Yes, this is what I call driving your car from the passenger seat or from the back seat. You know, get your ass in the driver's seat. So love and intention here, Sagittarius. I mean, this is so clear. It just says that this week it's time to wrap some intention around what you love and what you are looking to bring into your life. If you're just kind of waiting for things to show up, here's what I want, and then it's time to do some magic around it. It's time to what do I want to say? Intensify what you're putting out there. So intention to me is an act You know, it is a specific act, because you can say, you know, I want something. Oh, here's the plans, you know, 5 years down the road, here's where I'd like to be. You know, in a year's time, here's what I'd like. But to me, intention means we're putting some magic around it. That I am deciding, number one, exactly what I want, and staying away from things like happiness and love, these abstract words, to something specific. What will make me happy? What do I want to bring into my life that will add to my happiness? If it's love, is it romantic love? And if so, what is that partner? What do they look like? What are the requirements? What are the qualities that I'm looking for? So to me, intention means detail. Not just, oh yeah, I want to be happy. You know, that's not my, if your intention is to be happy, then you've got to start putting some detail and some structure around it. And what is structure? The difference between a dream and a plan. What is that? A calendar. The difference between a dream and a plan is a calendar. And maybe even a list. Here's what I have to do in order to get this. And when you get really detailed about it and very specific about what you want, remember that the more specific and clear you are on the what, the easier it is for your guides and guardians and the universe to bring that thing to you. If you say, I want happiness, the universe is going to dish it up to you in, you know, whatever's readily available. And we could totally miss it because that's not exactly what I had in mind. All right, then what do you have in mind? Make it specific. And on a Mercury retrograde, it's time to review. If you've been putting out intentions and it's not quite getting you where you want to go, then it's time to go back and review and revise. Let me catch up on some comments here. I see things going by. Book Depository. Yes, you can get it on Amazon. You can buy it in a lot of different places. I saw it on Abe Books for the version that I have on sale for $100 and some. Okay, 2008, 1989, Berlin Wall. 1984 was the initial printing. 1989, 2008 version. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah. Well, make sure you know what you're buying, folks. You know, but if you go to his website, you can buy the Oracle deck from James Wanless. All right. Cool. All righty. So back to you, Sagittarius. Time to get detailed about what you love, what you want to bring into your life. How do I increase the love in my life specifically? All right. And then we all know what magic is, right? We know how to put that intention out. Is you get very specific about it, you visualize it, you allow the visualization to be in the present tense. Here is me inside this happiness right now. Here's what it looks like. Here are the details. Here's what it feels like. You generate that emotional energy, build it, build it, build it, build it, shoot it off. And then you let go. So you got some magic to work this week, Sag. Alrighty. Cappies. Here's our little cappies. Okay. Here we go. This deck likes to jump. This one doesn't. Did you notice? Okay, so we have Seer, the Sage of Wands. Sages are the kings in this deck. There's the child, the man, the woman, and the sage. Yep, buying direct from the creator, absolutely, is the best option, let's say. All right, they want me to stop shuffling, And they want me to cut, and nope. That's just because the way the card is bent. Hold on. And I will keep in mind what that card was. All right. The first one that came out was Spirit Self, which is a repeat, but it came out like the same way the other one did. It caused the split in the deck the same way, so I think it was the bend of the card. That's why I went with this one. All right, Seer, Sage of Worlds. This is like the King of Pentacles. But Seer, I mean, think about this. When do you think of Seer in terms of Pentacles? But this is saying, all right, hold on. Okay, Capricorn. This is where you use your gifts of prophecy, knowing, being the organized person you are, being the process-oriented person, the step-by-step oriented person that you are. You can say, I know that when I do this, 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 and this, here's what happens, right? I know that when something is run in this particular way, boom, 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 this is what happens. So it's time this week to kind of project a little bit more into the future for yourself. Not just today what's going on, but projecting into the future, looking what's happening today, and then sitting down, assessing the situation. Here's where everything stands right now. And then looking at, here's the likely direction this is going, and trusting that information. Okay. Ooh, power and strength lie within our surrender to change. This is metamorphosis. And let's pull out Spirit Self again so we can call it a pair, because both of those were coming out. And see, yep, I made it split in the same place again. So that says that it wasn't quite the card that wanted to come. But still, it is being who you are, being confidently who you are. But metamorphosis says something needs to change here. Something needs to be changed up. And you can use your past to predict the future. You know? All right, hold on a second. The phrase I'm hearing in my head, Capricorn, is removing the layers. Removing the layers. So this Seer energy and Spirit Self, we have to honor that the card showed up anyhow, whether it was, you know, because it's bent or not, we have to honor that it showed up. This is talking about imagining yourself fully empowered at the peak of your powers, at the peak of expressing your gifts. So the Seer energy is, I am going to see my future self. And then I'm going to trust that self, trust myself, enough to allow the outer layers to fall away and the inner spirit self to emerge. All right, Capricorn? Those layers can look like duties and responsibilities. Those layers can look like other people's expectations. All right? So this is you being willing to imagine a new you. Imagine yourself without some of those layers. Let's just put it that way. Let me see if there's anything else to come out of here. I'm noticing flames. I'm seeing an owl. I haven't really been looking at the images. An owl, a falcon. Here's another golden falcon. That's probably like Horus. I see, look at the faces. Look at the faces that are in here. The faces of the sage, of wisdom. Wisdom come from living life. So the wisdom that you have can be applied now and felt as trust in yourself to the point that you can allow those other layers, those false layers, to fall away. Because you're on the verge of something transforming here. You're on the verge of, oh God, I just heard a new life. You're on the verge of something new really taking hold here. Okay. I'm hearing out of the darkness, out of bondage, all kinds of stuff. Wow. All right. Good. Thank you for that confirmation, Rose. Thank you so much. And I hear my mother's voice, Samantha. Who pronounced it bushel? Hide it under a bushel. No. If my sister watches this, she's going to be laughing her ass off at that. I love you, Mom. Okay. It's so interesting because now that my mom has passed, because of the healing work that was accomplished through her last years, I am now closer to my mother than I ever was in this life because her damage is not in the way. Her trauma is not in the way anymore. And I can feel her love that I, never felt before. Okay. I can't say never. But a huge chunk of it was missing. Let's say that. I felt love from her, but a huge fundamental chunk was missing. All right. This is Aquarius is where we're at now. I almost forgot to change signs. Oh, all right. We got the weeping wound here too for you, Aquarius. Oh, look at this. I'm so sorry, Aquarius. I think you're struggling lately. I know last week I thought we had kind of a challenging thing for Aquarius too. But we've got dullness and the weeping wound here. So this is the reminder that you are not your wounds. They are not who you are. But there's a dullness here that you need to break through, Aquarius. And I am going to recommend to you, hold up, I'm going to drop a link to a video that I did. That's not what I want. A couple of weeks ago, to the Dispelling Dark Clouds, because I am telling you it works. It really worked. The Tonglen practice really worked, and I think I'm really going to tap into that many, many, many more times because it is so powerful. It is so powerful. All right, there we go. Dispelling Dark Clouds. Aquarius, I think you need that this week. You need to shift something because dullness is just not you, fam. Not an Aquarius. Aquarians are sharp. Sharp and crystal clear. That's Aquarian energy. But it's been such a rough go that you're feeling like those sharp edges have kind of been worn down. You're feeling like those shiny flat surfaces, somebody took some sandpaper to them. All right? So how do we reclaim? Well, we need to address the woundedness here. We need to address what is wearing down those beautiful clean edges and clear surfaces, right? So remembering that you are not your wounds and that your emotions belong to you, but they are not who you are, makes it safe for you to go into this territory. Remember that you're the water bearer. You carry the emotional energy. So that doesn't mean you're necessarily comfortable swimming in it. You carry it in a vessel. I'm going to keep it in a vessel. That way it's nice and safe and contained. Well, you need to bust a move here, Aquarius, and let the emotions out. Let yourself feel the wounds. And, for Aquarians, it's been a super tough year because when things are very clear, when it's very clear what needs to be done for the best, for the highest good, where it's very clear how things need to change and update for the greater good, and we're in the fucking mess that we've been in, yeah, that's a wound. That's a wound to an Aquarius. And, Aquarius holds on to their ideas. It's a fixed sign. Here's what I see and the way things should go. And you're holding on to that and it doesn't go that way. So it's like, okay, fuck it. And then you can just sort of get worn down. So this is where you've got to be able to flex a little bit, Aquarius, and change a little bit and let new energy in. And be able to approach your wounds. So go to that vessel, that water vessel that you're bearing around. Take it and dump it over your frickin' head. Let it wash over you. Feel your feelings. Hang on to your ideas. You have that beautiful utopian vision that will carry us forward. You can hang on to that. Just because it's not being supported 100% right now doesn't mean it's worth throwing away. All right? We need you to hold that. But we also need you to care for yourself emotionally. So take that vessel, dump it over your head, your pointy little head, Aquarius, and let your emotions flow. Go and do the dispelling dark clouds. Do the Tonglen work. It is so fast and so effective at moving the shit that's stuck. And I really think you'll get somewhere with that, Aquarius. And be gentle about it. Aquarians can be kind of very forceful and rigid about things, so just take a soft touch, my dear Aquarian friends. All right. We are at Pisces. Where are you, Pisces? There we are. I got to tell you, because this is popping up in my head. My daughter today, I was talking to her about something, and she said, yeah, it's, Venus or some shit. I'm talking about somebody, and I'm like, you are my child. You will learn this vocabulary. Oh, God. Yep. Mercury and Libra, that's right. Thank you, Samantha, for connecting those dots, for connecting us back to the overall energy. Brilliant, my friend. Okay, Pisces. Down this way. Oh, shit. How'd I do that? I managed to pick the exact same one for Pisces. Well, I mean, so many of us have been feeling this way, and I have felt myself kind of slipping a little bit into dullness again. I mean, truthfully, when Mercury turned over the weekend and Monday and yesterday, I was like, I mean, my brain, I had to reach for rescue meds because it was just like, woo, it was intense. It was very intense. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces. How? How did I do that? All right, ditto Pisces, but from a Pisces perspective, okay, so let's do this. This will be a very interesting exercise. I picked both the same damn cards as last time for Pisces. Okay, dullness and weeping wound. For you, Pisces, this is about the assault on your compassionate nature. This is about the assault from everybody else's feelings of dullness. And this is about you just absolutely identifying with your woundedness. With Aquarius, it's about not being that comfortable with processing the emotions of it. But for you, it's about, this is my comfort place. Bring me the cross. It's about, it's okay. I'll sacrifice. It's okay. I will bear the wound for everyone. I will bear the cross for everyone. Climb on down. Climb on down, darling, and imagine something different for yourself. You are not your wounds, but your wounds inform your compassionate nature. Your wounds take you out of the Piscean isolation. Pisces is very good at retreat and isolation and hermithood. Think of 12th house. It's where we hide, right? That's the natural house of Pisces and Neptune. So here, what we do is, Pisces, you connect with your woundedness And rather than just embracing that as your identity and my lot in life, it's just the way it is, it's just what I'm here for, you know, what you do is feel it in order to connect to the others that are suffering this same way. All right? Remember that your key phrase, Pisces, for anybody, you know, your Pisces positions for focalized Neptune, all of that, is serve or suffer. It's or, not serve and suffer, serve or suffer, which means you have an alternative to the suffering, and that is service. But you need to connect with the suffering in order to serve the others that are also suffering in that way. And this is, you know, Tonglen practice is about, pardon me, being in your body, being in the emotional energy in your body, feeling where it resides, breathing it in. I am willing to be in this, breathing it in, like breathing underwater, just breathing it in. And then when you breathe it out, you feel it lighten, disperse, dissipate. It just vanishes. All right? So you do that for yourself first. And then when you do it again around the same emotion, you say, I am willing to feel this so that others might not have to. And in that, you acknowledge, I'm not alone. Because I'm a human being and feeling this, I know for a fact that other human beings feel this too. And they are suffering in the exact same way. So I am doing this practice to move it for all of us. I am here to serve and move that energy through for all of us, for the benefit of all. That's bodhisattva. That's being a bodhisattva. I am willing to feel it for the benefit of all. All right? That's your message this week, Pisces. Look at how you can serve. Look at how you can connect with your woundedness, connect with your suffering in order to connect with humanity as a whole. And then pull you out of that isolation. That's what pulls you out of that isolation and out of the dullness. All right? How interesting is it that, who's here? Hi, Ups and Downs. Hello. I'm so glad you made it again. See, that I have so much respect for that, because that is somebody that's like, I'm going to get there even if I have so much respect. Welcome, my love. All right. So isn't it interesting how different the same two cards can be when you frame it in a different way? This is NLP. This is what the reframe is. This is what being a tarot reader and an astrologer is. It's taking this thing and plunking it in this context. It's taking this thing and framing it with this frame and looking at how it changes what comes through. You know, Lenormand is the same way, taking this card, putting it next to this one. How do they change each other? So that was fun. I'm kind of glad that I did that. That was a fun exercise for me. Yes, the Lantern Oracle, I take it you have that one, Ups and Downs. It is a damn good one, isn't it? And it's one of those ones that really helps us deal with the shadow stuff. I got into a discussion today on a, what forum was it? I can't remember what forum it was, but something came up around Doreen Virtue, and how she, put out all these decks and then she renounced them all and became a Christian. So now that's all sinful, and actually asked everybody to destroy their decks they had bought from her. And it's like, holy shit. But what were we? Oh no, I'm losing the thread. All right. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Sorry. It'll come back if it's important. Oh my God. And you know what?
Hey, Pie Wacket. Pea Pie, there he is. Wait a minute, I'm gonna get the Pea Pie. Just a minute. kiss. I got a kisses from a pea pie. Hold on. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, people. I love you. I know. I love you so. You want to go up on the back? He's a good boy.
Did I tell you that he weighs 13 pounds? He's 10 months old and he weighs 13 pounds. And he's a cheetah. We look at him, he's so long. His body's long. And when he lays down on the floor with his haunches under him, he's so haunchy. They come way up high. Cliff says he looks like a cheetah. He is built like a cheetah. He's got a super long neck, super long legs, long tail, and really haunchy. Something else. I know, he's huge. He is huge. Okay, let me catch up with some things. You get the exact same cards, exact same place for two different people. Yes, exactly. You do. You totally do. So, God, I wonder what I was trying to say about Doreen Virtue. I don't know. Yeah, seriously. When did he become a panther? I was looking at kitten pictures today, and it's just hard to believe. He was such a baby. He was such a little baby before. All right. All right, let's move on, shall we? My brain keeps short-circuiting on me, so let's just move on. We're on to Aries now. Yay. Okay, what's excellent? Baby Joe. Funny, not funny. Okay. Oh, it is. Oh my God, you're Pisces and he's Aquarius. Well, maybe you have something that you're working through together. You can support each other. So, and I would say, interesting and a good week if you can come out of, whatever dullness you're feeling into, vibrancy again.
What did you do?
Off he goes. All right. Aries. They want me to shuffle them some more. Oops. Whoa, we got a couple for you, Aries. Oh, shit. We got more than a couple. This is no good. I'm going to take, that came out upside down. I'm going to take two. Those are the ones that landed on the floor. So those are the ones that came out first. Ooh, look at, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Look at it. Look at it. How do you feel when you look at this card, you guys? All right. Yeah, and Rose, he's not going to quit growing for a while because he's got a lot of Maine Coon characteristics in him, just the way his face looks, his prey drive, his feet are fucking huge. So over the next year or 2 years, he's going to keep growing. And I'm thinking about our cat Beans, whose father was Maine Coon. We called him the king, long-haired black cat that got the little black cat that was his mother on our back porch. But he, kind of hit his full size, like height and stuff, within the first year, and then we watched him over like the next year just bulking up, just whoa. And he wasn't fat, he didn't look that big, but I remember a friend coming over that had cats too, so he knows how to handle cats, and leaned over and said hi and went to pick him up and just went ooh, and it's like, yeah, he weighed like 18 or 19 pounds. So are you talking about the Voyager, Baby Joe? I'm going to take the top off of here. Ooh, okay. So, we've had very few major arcana. Did you notice tonight? I think we only had one. Hierophant was like the first one out, but I think that's the only major that we've had. Interesting. Pardon me. So that just tells me, we're not dealing with like big life stuff, just getting through life stuff. All right, time space. So this is Judgment, actually. And the Surfer, which is the Man of Cups. So think about surfer, what does that mean for you when you're looking at water as the symbol of emotions and surfing? What does that mean? That I am master, that I can be in this and getting somewhere. Okay, so I'm trying to find the words here. Think about surfing. I mean, the ocean terrifies me, truthfully. I love it. I adore it, to go into it and swim and shit. It fucking terrifies me. Truthfully, it does. And especially if you've got an ocean with lots of waves, you know, terrifying to me to get in there. But a surfer goes out, they understand the water, they know how it moves, they know what's possible when they're out there, they have respect for it, and they let the strength of it come at them, and they're able to stand up and ride it. So you, Aries, this talks about you really being master of the emotional processes that are going on this week, in terms of, I'm not going to try to control them, I'm going to ride them. They're going to take me somewhere. And time space here, judgment, talks about transformation, that I'm going to ride them and allow my emotional energy to transform me. So many emotional messages tonight, and that's the Pisces moon, I think. Going with the flow, absolutely. Absolutely. And it is intuitive, but it's also, you know, I mean, like any sport and skill, you train your body, you get muscle memory, but with this particular sport, you are dealing with something entirely different. You are not competing against anyone. You are, like you said, going with the flow. You've got to go with it dynamically, aggressively. You can't just, you know, if you got up on a surfboard and just went, okay, like, you'd be, you know. But they do it with a will, with that Aries will. I'm going to stand up on this board and let these things take me someplace. So it's very dynamic, very dynamic. And then we have, so what happens with this renewal is this card. Regeneration begins with decay. So we certainly have emotions that need to be processed, Aries. In order to regenerate, we've got to let this emotional energy out. So acknowledge it. Know that it is presenting itself in order to be transformed. And time space. Okay, let me look particularly at what this card is called, time space. Time and space only exist in the physical. Time only exists to this brain. When we no longer have this physical brain, time is not a thing. When we are no longer in this physical body, space is no longer a thing. At least being confined in space. And taking time to go from one place in space to another, those are no longer things when we are not in a body. So, all right, let me see if I can connect these dots. I have no idea what's coming through here. So knowing that emotions are physical. And time and space are physical. We can go into emotional energy, feel it, and let it take us someplace. And the place that, here comes the message, the place that it takes us is outside of time and space. It can take us into our physical past and heal wounds that are very old. It can take us into the future and give us an insight that heals the present. All right? It can take us outside of time and space. It can allow us to have a healing with someone who is no longer here in a body. It can allow us to connect with them and heal our trauma with them. But it takes the courage of an Aries and the aggressiveness of an Aries to get out there, to go into that powerful water, stand up and surf and take yourself to renewal and healing. But it starts with being willing, the decay, I'm looking at the decay part, being willing to let the emotions happen, being willing to let the barriers decay, what's been holding them into decay. All right. And you can think too of like waves and how they rise and fall. And a wave arises, it comes in, and then it decays. And then the next wave comes. So in order to be able to, access the next wave of emotional energy, we got to let the first one decay. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, those are the words that are coming through. And Samantha says, starting to learn more how to connect to that space. Even if exactly. When you go into this healing mode, and you decide that you're going to ride that wave and let that wave take you where it takes you, you, like I said, you step out of time and space, and you can heal things that aren't present, that aren't in the present moment, in the past and the future, and with people who are no longer in your physical space. All right. There we go, Aries. Holy moly. And we are on our last. We are on Taurus. Ooh, here we go. We got 2 there. And I think we might have gotten like all the mans in the deck. We got Man of Cups. We got Man of Worlds. This is Man of Worlds. The other ones would have been Crystals. Crystals, Cups, Worlds, and Wands. We got, I don't think we had any Wands. Oh, no, we do. We had like a 7 of Wands. So, all right. Come out. What we have here oh boy. All right. We have the universe, so another major, and the one right after the last one we had. This is the world, but it's called universe in this deck. And then here we have Man of Worlds, which is achiever. Over here, so definitely poised for something to come to big completion this week, Taurus. Big completion. You achieve, something comes to ultimate culmination. That's the universe, the world card. This says assistance with access. Here's the bad news, Taurus. It is necessary to ask for and accept help in order to receive it. All right. So you're going to need to ask for what you need, Taurus. Just straight up ask for it. And then something is achieved here. So there's something coming to completion. You need to take it that last step by saying, here's the assistance that is needed with this. And it might not even be assistance for you personally. It's just you knowing here's what's needed in this situation and asking for it. Calling it forth. Calling it forth from the people that are there to give it. The people that are there to assist. Calling people's better angels out. Appealing to others' higher selves to come out, and then telling them specifically, here is what I need from you. Here is what I need from you. Here is what being your best self looks like in this moment. And then we achieve. Something comes to completion, something comes to achievement. Let's look at some of the pictures here. What in the hell is that? This. That is someone leaning down to drink, and look at the lotus, and look at the moon, the boot print on the moon, the seagull, the universe, the stars, the planets, the structure of DNA and atoms. It's everything, all and at the same time. Is that a satellite? But at any rate, Taurus, it's time to bring things to wrap up, to look at what comes to completion this week. How can I help? How can I ask for help? So, two different possibilities here depending on who's listening. And of course, I should say this at the beginning of every week when I do this, that these are general readings, so they're not going to resonate absolutely with everybody. That's why you look for, at your sun, moon, rising. But this is either something personal coming to a culmination, a personal achievement, and the Achiever card really does give that vibe. But it also says that there can be something externally that is coming, that is culminating, that is ripening, that is coming to fruition. And in order to get there in the best way possible, you, the Achiever, say, I know what needs to happen. I will call it forth. I will ask for that assistance. I will ask for that help. Okay? So, there we are, folks. I like the way these two decks work together. I love this Lantern Oracle. I got two of these at the same time, and the Lantern was a gift, and I got the Through the Eyes of the Soul at the same time. So they're the same size box. They're both Blue Angel. They're very similar to each other in that way. But the Through the Eyes of the Soul is very spiritual. It's all really on that level. This one gets down to the nitty-gritty. This one shines a light in the dark places, and I really like that. So I'm going to do another general here. Yes, absolutely ups and downs for your rising sign and your moon as well, your big three. Check them for your big three. And again, I should say this in the beginning. I just kind of take it for granted that you guys know this because you are my gang and it's the same people that show up. But I also have to be aware that there are new people checking this channel out. So I should preface at the beginning and say these are general readings. And if it doesn't resonate for your sun sign, check your rising sign, check your moon sign as well. So yes, sun, moon, rising. Have to rewatch for Scorpio Sun. Okay. Yeah, Scorpio Sun was very interesting this week. All right, good. I'm so glad. Well, there comes one for us. Narrowness. Oof, we had dullness and we had narrowness. I want two more from this deck. Okay. Narrowness, Censor, and Magician. Okay, hold on. So this is like feeling your way out of a tight place. All right? Between a rock and a hard place. I am feeling, and this is the Nine of Crystals, which is the Nine of Swords. I am feeling squeezed into a narrow place. I'm feeling, we're feeling like we don't have options here. Okay. And Censor, and I mean, if you think of Nine of Swords in general in the Tarot, it certainly shows lots of emotional release going on. And I mean, Mercury retrograde is also a great time to deal with emotional stuff because sometimes the logical mind is not in the way. Sometimes the logical mind can get in the way of us getting in touch with the feelings. So during Mercury retro, we can go into those places where we're feeling, maybe where we've pushed things back, pushed them back in. And the Censor card, this is another one of my favorites. Look at this, because it's a black kitty. But look at the hands. Look at the hands and the fingers pointing up. I wish it would focus. I really wish you would focus. There we go. And notice that what I'm looking at as hand in the middle there isn't actually a hand. It's kind of a cutout with stripes on it. But just that, So I think when we're in a narrow place this week, in general for all of us, we don't close down. We go into our senses. We feel. Where am I feeling this in my body? How is this impacting me? And then the magician over here says, then we do Tonglen. Then we do Tonglen. So I'm going to invite you for just a second there. Okay. Now, everybody just take for a second, get into your body, feel your skin, all right? And what I want you to feel, what I want you to seek out, what I want you to sense, the sensor card here, is the places where you're feeling squeezed, where you're in the big squeeze, where life is coming at you and you're getting pushed from behind and things are being squeezed. Feel the place where it's uncomfortable in you. Feel the place where you're feeling tight, tense, dull, heavy. Feel wherever that is. You don't need to go into the story about it. I just want you to feel the raw sensations in your body of whatever emotions need to be moved. Let your breath all the way out. And then breathe in that dark, heavy, dull, pointy, icky, tense. Breathe it in. Breathe in the narrowness. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And then breathe it out and let it expand, let it lighten, let it dissipate, let it explode into a million little shards. Flash out. Do it again. Breathe in, feeling the heavy. Everywhere it lives in your body. Breathe it out. Let it flash out. And then make the intention, I am willing to feel this in order to shift it in my own body. I am willing to feel the heavy emotional energy in order to learn, in order to process, in order to move forward, in order to transform. Do it again. Breathe it out. Vast, limitless space, it just dissipates. And then you say, I am willing to feel this in compassion for every other human being that has felt the exact same thing. Breathe in, breathe it out. Feel it lighten. All right? You can continue this on your own anytime you feel it. And I'm telling you, particularly when I've had issues where I fucked something up and you get that that shame hit. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I saw, how do I fix that? And you try, the first thing is you try to run. You try to run away. No, it's not that bad. No, I'm not wrong. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. You try to run away and you do all those mental gymnastics. Pardon me. And then you get to the point of going, okay, this ain't going anywhere. It's sticking with me. I feel awful. Sit your ass down in the middle of that feeling and start doing Tonglen. Breathe out. And the thing is, I'm going there. I am willing to feel every bit of it. Come on. Come and get me. Come on. Show me what you got. Bring it. And then you do Tonglen. Breathe in and breathe out. If you can only manage to do it for yourself, that's just fine. As you practice more, your practice will move along. But that's what the magician is saying here. That's fucking magic. What's the definition of magic, you guys? The art of changing consciousness at will. And at will means I'm willing to feel this emotion that has got me by the short and curlies. Right? I am willing to feel it in order to move it through. That is the very definition of magic. All right. So, my dear friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed this tonight. I really, truly did. Thank you for all the conversation. I absolutely adore it when everyone's engaged and there's a lot of, back and forth between you and everything. So, Yay, yay for all of us. If anyone feels so moved to give me a donation, nothing is too small. The links are below, and I bless you and thank you for all of that. I'm going to try to remember to get the timestamps up tonight, because usually it's the next day and I go, oh shit. But, you know, I also don't mind if somebody's got to watch the whole things. I know plenty of people don't do timestamps, and I do appreciate the people that drop their own timestamps to help others. That's very helpful. So, all right. Also, the link below for gift deck. If you want to look at prayer beads and, you know, purchasing stuff like that, you know where to go. Hit a prayer circle, look at the link below to the tutorial, buy prayer beads, whatever. I'm not in a sales mood tonight. Sorry, guys. Just giving it up to the universe. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. Here's another story before I go, y'all. My sister, unfortunately, if you send a little healing energy her way, has a terrible head cold because everybody got together for Memorial Day. They had a lovely family gathering, and somebody was carrying a cold. Nobody there was sick, but somebody was carrying it, because you can do that, particularly if you guys are around adolescents and high school people. They're notorious for carrying things and not getting sick. So, wear your masks, because I don't even want you to get a cold. I don't want you to get a cold in the summertime. Come on, I don't want you to get the flu. It's cutting down on my allergies if I'm wearing a mask outside. So, but outside I do like to breathe the free air, pollen notwithstanding. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys keep yourselves safe, and I wish you the best possible week. Many blessings, that you get to get some wonderful insights and move your emotional energy through, and make the most of this Mercury retrograde and getting things revised and updated for yourselves. All right, you guys, until I see you next time, this is Zen Witch. I love you. Blessed be.